Grab your cup. Do you suffer from pain in your body, like a chronic pain that you can't seem to get rid of? Sometimes it shows up randomly. Sometimes it's over here and now it's over there. It might show up in different places, but pain has been a struggle for you. I wanted to share something with you to think about in case you haven't addressed this. So this was my experience, and I certainly had structural reasons, like in my skeleton, reasons for pain, but there were other things that I needed to address. So if you've been doing exercise, yoga, you go to chiropractic, acupuncture, physical therapy, and you're still experiencing pain, especially if you don't have a particular reason, like you fell or there was an accident and there was some physical reason for your pain. You're just like, I just have this pain all the time. Pay attention to this, okay? So here's a couple of things that could be going on. If you've had experiences in your life, especially over and over and over, where you had to make yourself smaller than who you really are in order to not rock the boat. Maybe you grew up in a household where there was a lot of volatility and you just learned to keep yourself small. Maybe it was like dad's coming home from work, you got to be quiet because he's had a hard day. You make yourself small. Maybe it's in your adult life and in a marriage. You're in a marriage and there's a good amount of volatility. And so in order to manage that, you keep yourself small. So anytime we're doing that, think of like emotionally you're keeping yourself small, but your body's doing the same thing. There's like a constriction or a contraction inward. Over time, that contraction will make those muscles fatigued, overworked, and tired. So that's one reason. Another reason is if you think of any response to a stress situation. So keeping yourself small is one thing you could do, but also we call it fight or flight, right? And then there's freeze and fawn. All four of those can be a stress response. But fight or flight, right off the bat, everybody's familiar with that phrase because it's common. People either are ready to fight or they're ready to run. And that can be you're on a phone call. So you're not fighting and you're not running. You're sitting on a phone call, but your body got the message from your nervous system. This is a problem. We're in stress. We're upset. So the fight or flight response, both of those will be generated from the pelvis and the lower back. That's where you're going to run from, and that's where you're going to fight from if you were going to do that. But you may have had years and years and years, you're not running and you're not fighting with your physical body, but your nervous system is in fight or flight because of stress and anxiety that you constantly stay in. Those muscles in the pelvis and the lower back especially are primed, and then they get fatigued. They're overused, they're tight. So your adductors, which are your inner thighs, they're pulling, your hip flexors in the front, all of the muscles in the pelvis and the lower back. You might also get it up here too in your neck, because think about fight, right? Even though you don't do this, your nervous system, internally, those smaller muscles are contracting and they're ready. They're listening to what you're saying all the time, what you're saying subconsciously. So long-term chronic stress will trigger the nervous system on. There's two other things that can come into play that I want you to think about, look over the course of your life. One of them is now the emotional energy that can get stuck in your muscles. So yes, everything I just talked about was like the physiology, the muscles themselves staying contracted. So staying in a tightened position. If you go and you get a massage, that person might say, ooh, you're so tight, right? That's what we were just talking about. Now I'm talking about emotional energy. So fear, anger, anxiety, those kinds of emotions. If you're not processing them out every time you have them and you feel them, the energy of that is going to get stuck. If you shove them down, it's going to go right into that lower back and the pelvis. Anger relates to the liver, and the function of the liver will get impacted by chronic anger. Fear relates to the kidneys. Both of those organs are for detoxing and getting rid of toxic things in your body in different ways, right? Anger and fear are toxic things in your body. Emotions have an energetic frequency. Think of a wave, like you could actually see, there's technology to see, it's a wave of energy. That wave of energy is staying in your liver and your kidneys, which is down in your lower thorax, right? And kidneys are in your back there, liver is here in your side. So the energy of that will be affecting those organs, and it will also stay in the surrounding tissue and the muscles. So you've got energy of anger and fear, along with the physiology of the muscle staying contracted and the nervous system giving that signal over and over and over if it's been chronic stress. And then the last place to think about is, if we look at the energy centers, your root energy center, it's also called chakra, if you've heard that term. And chakra just means a wheel, because energy should move like a wheel. Just like your cardiovascular system, right? Your blood moves in a certain direction. Your energy should move in a certain direction. So the first energy center, the first energy chakra is at your tailbone. It's in that pelvis and lower back. And that center is related to feeling safe. When we are first born, right, having the experience that I'm safe and I'm taken care of, there's a sense of being grounded, knowing that you're supported. That all happens at that root chakra, right at the base of your tailbone. If you've not had a lot of experiences of being safe, supported, nurtured, taken care of, then the energy in that root chakra is not going to be moving in the wheel in that shape that it should be moving at. And so people who have had experiences in their early life, because that's really when that gets set up, when we're children, is when that really gets set up, that sense of I'm safe, I'm taken care of, I'm nurtured, I'm loved. Whatever I do is, not that whatever I do is okay, but I'm loved for who I am, even when I make mistakes. That kind of thing, that all impacts that root chakra, which is right there in the lower back and the pelvis. And each energy center moving up the body will affect the next ones, because if the energy's not moving in that wheel shape as it should, it's not communicating well to the next one and the next one and so on. So you can have pain going up all the way up your back. So I'm just talking about physical pain, and I did mention the function of the liver and the kidneys as well. Also, if you think about in the front, that's your digestive system. So you're going to see malfunction or dysfunction in the digestive system as well. If you can't get a handle on that, no matter what you've been doing, it's time to look at your nervous system and the way you have been primed and that you're staying in that fight or flight response. If you want more information on that, please put talk in the comments and we'd be happy to talk with you. That's a big part of getting your body healthy again, is looking at that aspect of it. So especially if you've been doing so many other strategies and it hasn't worked, this is the place to look. We'd be happy to talk with you about it. It's a free call. So just put in talk in the comments, okay? And I'll make sure that you get a link to our calendar so we can talk about the chronic pain that you're in and how to move out of that. Have a good day.